Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Perfect. Okay, so this is all about evergreen content today. We're going to speak about what is evergreen content, and also we're going to go into evergreen offers, why it's important for you, and why you really need to be considering it, which in any stage of business that you are at. Say hello to me if you're here and tuning in, or even on the replay, just tag me, Katie. I would love to hear from you. So I'm going to speak about, firstly, that evergreen content, evergreen offers. And you might be thinking, okay, what do you mean by evergreen? What do you mean by evergreen? Just think about grass that's evergreen. It's always good. It's always beautiful. It's not dying or anything like that. So it means content. It's a fancy word for content that's going to still bring you traffic. It's going to still bring you customers and be useful for people, many years to come. And I'll give you an example. So let's say there's content about celebrities, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, or maybe the iPhone 4. It's not really evergreen content because it's not going to be content like, oh, I want to research the iPhone 4 right now. Maybe if you've got like an old phone, but it's not really very useful, or something no one's going to really want to research about. Let's think about like the coronavirus. It hit Korea, and what the statistics are in May 2020. Like, it's not really, or the fidget spinner. It's content that's just going to not live on, like, and bring you traffic in the future. Whereas if we think about some good evergreen content, let's think about, pets or dogs, or how to train a dog, right? Or how to play an instrument, how to play the guitar, teaching people about notes, music, teaching people about history. So this is content that's going to bring in and be useful. Or sewing, like how to sew a cardigan, how to sew a coat for a ball. It can even be specific like that, like how to sew I was going to say wedding dress, but maybe that's maybe it would still be, some people would be sewing wedding dresses. I don't know how many people are going to do that, but how to sew a ball gown or something like that. Like, people are always going to be searching for it. They were probably searching for it like 50 years ago, and they still will in the future. Maybe not, depends on technology, right? But it probably would. So this type of content is evergreen content, and it's really good to keep in your business. And that's why it's good to have YouTube videos about it, or, blog posts, or whichever form of content that you've got that's not going to be like a flippant post. So you might have heard me before speak about having your core content and then having your social media posts, your stories that go whoosh, that vanish. So your core content is when you're building a digital asset. You're building assets in your business. It's like, I don't know, do you take notes, right? Like notes, and then you throw the piece of paper away because you've taken notes to go to the shop and buy this and that, right? So that's how I think of social media. You're kind of like taking notes and maybe like, hey, this is what I want to buy, and then it kind of vanishes. Whereas your core content, you can think about it like you're writing a chapter in a book, or you're writing a couple of pages in a book. And over time, you're writing a book, like you're writing something valuable that can be packaged, that's useful, that people can read, that they can digest, and all those sort of things. So that moves on to the next part that I wanted to speak to you about what makes good evergreen content. So look, good core content are things, especially if we're looking online, things like guides, like list posts, reviews, interviews, or even FAQs with your business. But they're generally kind of like solid content. They're not like a, actually in YouTube they can be smaller, but they're usually not like a really short post. If you're looking at core content on website, it wouldn't be a very like a 200, 300 word post. They're like 1,000 words. Like they're solid bits of content that have high value and, well designed, well structured. Then I've got an idea about other types of niches and things that are really great for creating this core content. So we have, I was getting distracted. I was like, what's flashing over here? So I apologize. We have hobbies, sports, pets, anything around pets, anything with history, art, coaching, nature, wildlife, animals, party planning, weddings, event planning, photography, instruments that I mentioned before. So all of these, or interior design, did I say that one? Could be housing, renovating, like they're all great pieces of content that people are going to constantly search for. They're not really going to die out. And we mentioned before, sort of the celebrity things or who's trending on, can't even think of like Married at First Sight or whatever those TV shows are. Like that's not going to be very useful to build a business around and write things about. So that's pretty much what I had to say about evergreen content. And then I wanted to speak in about how you can find it or ways to create it. So if you're watching, I'm going to share, I've got this on Instagram as well, so you won't be able to see. Whereas come over to the group, the Scale Up Club, if you're on Instagram, the link in the bio, and I'm going to share something with Google Trends. Okay. I'm going to share. There we go. Okay, share. So as you can see here, this is Google Trends. So it's a good idea to see where things are trending, and it just works from, looking at history. So I usually change it to the past 5 years. And I search for Emirates, which is an airline, and it's really interesting. In March 2020, when we all know when COVID hit, it absolutely plummeted. I hope you can see that. Nope, now you can see it. So, I might do it this way. So you can see it's like really, really plummeted in the middle. And then let's say we search for digital. Why is my thing? Oh, don't you love it when you do lives? Digital marketing. Let's see what this does. So we're looking at the trends for digital marketing, and you can see it's just going up and up and up and up. So that's kind of, you can see how things are trending. However, this is a great segue to speak about, but when you are doing content around marketing, digital marketing, be careful with tutorial videos using different software, because that changes so much and people get annoyed when they go and watch something. I mean, of course you can still do it, but just be aware that it may not be so, it probably won't be that evergreen. get that influx of traffic. I did a post when COVID hit about how to use Zoom for fitness instructors, and I had a bunch of views, like boom, immediately. So that's because everyone was looking at using Zoom. So it kind of worked like that. And then, Zoom, the platform changes and all this sort of thing. And then it's not really very useful. It's outdated. So a lot of things when you're doing anything with tutorials and technology, you have to realize it's going to get outdated quickly. If you did stick with one particular software, you could just keep doing updates and you're building up your channel or whatever around being an expert in that particular software. So that works. Whereas if you're just sort of randomly doing different things, you just know that it's not going to live out that great. Another thing to look at, might remove that, is so not to talk about specific things in these posts and content. So maybe not speaking about who is the current, who's winning the sports, the current president or something like that, because it can get outdated quickly and then people read the article and it's just distracting and they know that it's old. So maybe not speak about specifics, and thinking about this piece of content I'm creating, and think when you're writing it or creating it or doing the video, will it be useful to someone in 5 years' time? Are they going to get value from it in 5 years' time? And then when you're thinking with that, it helps and craft it. Another way is when you are on Google and you're searching up things around your business and your search terms, just pay attention if you ever see an organic article that's in the top, but it's got a old date. So let's say it's 2009, 2014, 2015, even 17. And then if it's got an old date and it's ranking on the top, you have an opportunity to create content around that and potentially rank and outbid it, because it's going to be fresh content. So just to keep in mind, when you're on Google and searching up different things, if you do notice a old piece of dated from a few years ago that's ranking, then there's that opportunity for you to create something around that. So keep that in mind. Another place to get an idea about this evergreen content is if you do have your website and you have created content around it before, always go into Google Analytics and have a look at which posts were ranking, which got the most traffic, which pages got the most traffic, and then you can build out more content around that. You can also freshen up these posts. So that's like going in and you'll change the date, and then you'll go review it and update them, and then change the posted date, and that'll then bump it back up again, and knowing which of those. So that's something else you can do. Also, so this is all about creating that long-lasting evergreen content that's going to keep helping, and like the grass is green, it's going to keep bringing in people. Imagine people walking on the green grass because it's beautiful. So all those people walking on the green grass to your business, it's going to keep bringing in those people to your business with your evergreen content. And that brings me into the evergreen offers. So really, in this day and age, you really just need one great, high value, high ticket evergreen offer to scale to multi-six-figure business. And that's the same sort of content same idea as you want this offer to be something that people years down are still going to be interested in. I followed Denise Duffield Thomas from many years ago. Gosh, I think it could have been 2012 when she started with manifestation. She started with something else, but then she ended up with manifestation. Now she's money mindset, but it's all around that manifesting realm, right? And she's pretty much been running her same course for years and years and years. I think Jeff Walker with the product launch formula. I'm pretty sure he's been running that same program, of course, adding and updating and making it better, but for like 8 years. And that's like a multi-million dollar business, and because it's evergreen, it's what people are looking for, and they're able to get that expertise in it and then improve it over and over. So when you're creating your offer, you want to think about creating something that you're going to be able to build and grow, so you don't have lots of different tiny offers, right? Some people do that, but I prefer, and I work in having kind of that main core one until that's working, and then developing your other ones, because I know if you're like me, you're multi-passionate, you can get bored with one thing and that sort of thing. So that's understandable. But ultimately, having that evergreen offer is what you want to be looking for. Whether it is that higher ticket or if it is low ticket, people are still going to be searching and wanting that information and needing it, or whatever it is, the product that you've created, many years to come. So thinking about what that actually is, what that type of thing is. So for example, you wouldn't be creating an offer around, let me think about something, if you created it, sorry, I was just laughing because we've been watching Stranger Things, but I was going to say walkie-talkies, if it was like, actually, maybe there are some people still using walkie-talkies, but probably, but I was thinking, or the BlackBerry phone, like if it was around, like courses on how to maximize your BlackBerry phone and get the most out of it and plan everything on it and all this sort of thing using a BlackBerry, that's not very evergreen. Where, because people aren't going to be using that in the future, that piece of technology. However, if you shifted it and said, and you were doing something on planning and management and systems, like people are always going to search for that. The vehicle that they use maybe was a BlackBerry phone, and now it might be an iPhone. In the future, it might be a fly phone. Who knows? Could be a brain chip, but they're still going to be looking for that planning and organization and how to systemize things. So seeing how you can switch your offer ultimately, and thinking about that with your offers. So if you do want to, if you think, you know what, I actually like what Katie says about just creating this one offer that I can scale and grow and put my love into and my energy into and focus on, and then that will lead me to a multi-six-figure business, just focusing on this one offer. But I don't really know what my offer would be because it's not really working, or I'm not really sure, I'm just starting out, I have all these ideas and I'm just going crazy, and I don't know, or I've got an offer but I just feel like I can't scale it because it's too intensive, then you should definitely book in a call with me, and that's at claritycall.biz. And what we'll do is we'll get a lot of clarity around your offer, and we'll look at where you are now. Do you have one or you don't? What the ideas are, what your skills and your experiences and your passions and your expertise is, and your time ability as well, how much effort and motivation and time you want to put into this. And we'll get that clarity around in a map on, okay, I'll give you ideas and say, look, from me listening to you, and also before these calls I channel into myself and get grounded and ask for the higher self to kind of help and guide me. So then also it works energetically. I'll be like, look, I've been listening. This is what I feel came through. That, have you thought about this? Or you really got really excited when you spoke about that. How does that feel if that was the area that you're going to focus? And then because you might find you've actually got hidden blocks there. And I know this very well because it happened to me, and I got on a call and I did not actually even sign up. It was Jill Stanton, and She's lovely. And she got on, and it was funny because I knew what I wanted, but I just was stuck in it. And then having her on that call and how she picked things out of me, and then the way how she positioned it and the way how she said things, it kind of unlocked something. And then I went on to create that and have never looked back. So, Jill Stanton, if you are watching this, thank you for that free call. I did buy a lower ticket product that included a call with her. And yeah, it was amazing. So, I mean, I paid $500 for coaches before, and I just got so much out of this session. So the same could be for you. It could be this one session where I can see something like Jill did with me, and she somehow almost gave me permission to go for my dreams, because and held me in the space of where I wanted to be. She didn't talk to me of where I was. She spoke to me where I wanted to be, and as if I'd already achieved it, and like, yes, 100% you can. And I'm like, oh, but this, I don't know. This is, so I had all this stuff come up, and then she just kind of removed those, and then that kind of cleared the way for me to really, really dive into what I 100% love, which is helping women create these offers and automate it to win back time. So before that, even though I had lots of successes, I was like, no, I need to be like, at multi-six levels before I can multi-six figures before I can help people. Like, I was always thinking, I need to have $1 million business before I can do that. Like, and then so I'm going to create that doing like all these weird stuff that happens in our heads. And then sometimes it takes someone else to show you the way and show you that clarity. So if that sounds like you are looking for that clarity, and you're looking for someone who's centered, grounded, passionate about helping women, especially mums, rise online with their online business and have freedom, fun, and financial independence, then you are here to book a call. That's claritycall.biz. Would absolutely love to help you and support you. No pitches happening on these. It's just what I'm doing to give back. And then, of course, if it feels right, or if you want, or if you ask me, and it works out, and then I can let you know how I can help. Otherwise, I just think about reciprocity, what Jill provided for me. If I can do that for other people, whether or not you join any programs, it's really making the world a better place. So I'd love to hear from you. claritycall.biz. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this has been useful. You've thought about your evergreen content and your evergreen offers. So that's content and offers that are content that's going to bring in people, like walking on the green grass, bring in people for many years to come. And you're going to have an offer that you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can just really get behind, you can ease into, you can grow it, you can expand it, you can build out your team, and then you can sit back more in your business. So sending lots of love, and yeah, maybe I'll hear from you. Have a good time. Bye.